Some big breaking news this Monday. Triple H has been announced as the head of creative in WWE. Of course, Vince McMahon had announced his retirement this past Friday. It was announced over the weekend that Bruce Pritchard will be taking over creative control. Kevin Dunn, of course, was still involved in production as well. Of course, Stephanie and Nick Khan were joint CEO at the top. Triple H was head of talent relations, but on top of that, Triple H is now going to be in creative control of WWE, which, let's be fair, is what I think a lot of people do care about. What we're going to see on our on-screen product moving forward. Are we going to get a fresh WWE? For the longest time, I've said while Vince remained in charge, things wouldn't change. When Bruce Pritchard has the pencil, in my opinion, things still don't change. He's been a Vince McMahon guy for decades, so things were not necessarily going to change. Now, Triple H, we know him best from his time in creative with his baby NXT, the black and gold era from 2012, well, up to last year, but you could argue and say that up to the pandemic, such a consistent time of WWE programming, seeing great simplistic storylines presented each and every week with great twists and turns leading to takeovers, future stars being built in the industry as well. Some of the great characters that we've seen today or over the last 10 years evolved and started through NXT, with Triple H having a great relationship with all that talent as well. To see that now on what could be the main roster of Raw and SmackDown in WWE really excites me. The idea that we could be getting real change on our television program from week to week going forward. The fact that we can see, superstars being built and used properly, how Triple H envisioned them in NXT to how they should translate to Raw and SmackDown. We should get a much smoother transition going forward. I don't think we'll get these big name changes and huge change of characters. Well, I think what we see from NXT may actually come to Raw and SmackDown, and people that were pushed before in NXT for Raw and SmackDown may get a big push going forward. Maybe more people will be presented as superstars, actually build new stars for the future rather than relying on the old guard. As for the outside, I always said we wouldn't see certain people coming back after they'd been released, especially when Nick Khan was at the helm of that. I think if Triple H now really does say, well, I'm creative control, I can see something, make this work with this superstar, I think there's a chance we could see them come back. Maybe someone, we could, dare I say, a Wyndham. I think that's a big name that people could see. Well, if he was brought back, that'd make a big difference. That sort of character from Bray Wyatt evolved, started in NXT, moved itself up to Raw and SmackDown, of course, about a year later. We had The Fiend, of course, as well. And Triple H is good at smoothing things over as well. I think that that's something that's always natural in his character and someone that he's always been able to portray himself very, very well in WWE. Maybe someone like a Karrion Kross. Could you imagine him and Scarlett Bordeaux doing that entrance that we saw in NXT instead of seeing what we got on Raw? Instead, we actually see these people built up and used properly on our screens each and every week. Maybe top female superstars like Dakota Kai, someone that was being pushed really well in NXT, didn't have a place for on a Raw and SmackDown. Imagine the time when she turned during War Games on Tegan Nox, still one of my favourite NXT moments to this day. You could easily make a great story with Dakota Kai on a Raw and SmackDown, just needs to be given that opportunity. Of course, we're still going to have the corporate machine that is WWE and how they're going to run things from day to day. It'll be interesting to see with the changes that we've had and implemented if Triple H's message and voice and creativeness will actually be able to transcend and come across through our television sets the way we wanted to, the way we've seen previously with NXT. Of course, with Raw and SmackDown, they are different beasts. They're going to much bigger audiences, much more different demographics you have to cater to as well. So it'd be interesting to see how it'll go. But from NXT, it was always a fun factor. Black and gold era, it was always a great time, great storylines, great twists, great turns. You've only got to say Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, the epic storyline between them two, one of, if not the best storyline probably done in the last decade or so in wrestling. So for me personally, I'm very excited to see what the future holds with this. I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments below. I think Raw and SmackDown, it's going to get good again. Will it be instant from tonight? I'm not so sure about that. I think give it to at least SummerSlam. There are probably some plans already in place going into Clash of the Castle. I think it could be a transitional period, and I think we can judge more in the next 3 to 6 months. I reckon perhaps definitely by Survivor Series to turn and say, I can see those changes have been made, and hopefully we'll feel that it's a much more enjoyable television product. But hey, Raw's still 3 hours long, SmackDown's still 2 hours long. There's a lot of creativity to fill, but if anyone's shoes can fill them, I think Triple H is one. I would say I think Paul Heyman would be another, and of course with Paul Heyman being around, can always be there to give ideas. I'm sure they've got a big creative team as well that'll be feeding their ideas through, but I think Triple H will filter the good and the bad, and what we should get on TV should be very good. We're getting change, it feels, in WWE, something people have always wanted. They've wanted creative control to go to Triple H. They've wanted Vince McMahon and his ideas out the door, and of course Vince McMahon arguably has made wrestling what it was over the last 40 years, but it's been time for a change, and it's been time for that change for quite a while. We're getting that change. We're getting those two things that a lot of people in the wrestling community have wanted. Let's see how it will transition onto our TV sets. I'm optimistic, I'm hopeful, but how hopeful are you? Let me know in the comments below right now. If you've enjoyed this video, then please do like it, share and subscribe to SCW as well. Just a short upload for you here today, but do keep an eye on the channel. Tomorrow is SummerSlam predictions. The live stream will be there. You can get involved as well. The link will already be available and popping up on your screen right now. But that's all from me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. And Triple H, yes, creative control in WWE for Raw and SmackDown. Exciting times ahead.